Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love college football as much as I do. Let's talk about Nebraska. I expect them to be better than what they were last year. I expect Matt Rule by his second year by now, especially late in the season, everything that he wants is going to start showing here. I do believe they'll start off in a similar fashion like they did last year, losing some close games. But I love Dylan Raiola that they got. I love how they still recruit. They hit the transfer portal. You know this team will play better. This program will be in a much better place now than what it has been in a long time. They start off with UTEP, Colorado, and Northern Iowa. They beat UTEP and they beat Northern Iowa, both one-sided games. But I think they lose to Colorado. Look, Colorado is going to be a lot better team than what they were last year. Deion Sanders has hit the transfer portal. He's gotten in some big guys up front in the lines of scrimmage. That will be kind of the difference in this game. And I think Shedeur Sanders having more time to throw in the pocket will be the difference in this game. But Nebraska's a tough team. They're a physical team. Their defense plays really good. But I don't think it'll be enough. I have them losing a close game, 31-27. And then they have Illinois at home. I believe that's also a loss, 17-16. I don't think Illinois is better, but anytime you play close with Nebraska, you usually beat them. And unfortunately for Nebraska, I think that keeps happening. Now they have to go to Purdue. They have Rutgers at home. Then they go to Indiana. This is when they start to win those games. They go to Purdue. I believe they have an ugly win, 23-20. It sounds terrible, but that's good for Nebraska. It'll feel like a turning point to win these close games. They have Rutgers at home. They're not the most talented team in the world, either team, but Rutgers is very tough, just like Nebraska, and they play tough defense. But I think Nebraska finds a way to win this game at home, 21-14. And then they go at Indiana. Indiana just hired James Madison's head coach. And again, another close win, 20-16. At this point, Nebraska, you're sitting at 5-2. You feel really good. This is where it gets tricky. They go to Ohio State. That's a loss. I think Ohio State's just better than Nebraska. And then they come back home and lose to UCLA because, well, Nebraska loses a lot of close games. I think they lose this one too. And listen to the last three games. At USC, home against Wisconsin, at Iowa. I have them, if you've already seen my USC video that I'm uploading right now, you see that I have them beating USC over there. This will be the turning point. This will be a signature win for Matt Rule and Nebraska. And this is their bowl eligibility. And by now, they're knocking off an undefeated top 10, possibly top 5 USC. I don't think they're better than USC. But sometimes a team that's average or okay, like Nebraska will be this year, shows up and plays great. And then the superior team, USC, that isn't great but is really good, plays like garbage at home. And they end up losing to a team like that. So I think this is a trap game for USC, and they lose. Then they take on Wisconsin at home. This will be a big win for them. Wisconsin by now is going to be a much better team than what they were a year ago. But again, Nebraska says, you know what? We've already got our bowl eligibility. Let's go to a better bowl game. Let's keep doing this, coach. I think the program and the attitude and the culture will be better than it was a year ago. Finding ways to lose close games. They find ways to win close games. They beat Wisconsin 20-17. And then they finally come back home and beat Iowa. No, they go to Iowa, and do what they did 2 years ago. Win a big game over there, 27-24. So there you have it. It didn't take me long to go through Nebraska just because they're not really a great program. But I will say this. Matt Rule took Baylor, and had a hard time winning at some point. But then at some point took them to a Sugar Bowl and the Big 12 championship and won 11 games that year. And Baylor was really good. I think Nebraska is headed in that same direction. He might even bring them a national championship one day. Who knows? It's going to take time, obviously. I mean, Nebraska's Nebraska, but I liked what he did last year. They lost some close games, but they played a lot harder. They were more competitive. And this is best case for 8-4 Nebraska. Who knows? Maybe they beat Colorado and get payback for last year. I know him and Deion Sanders don't really like each other, obviously. They could beat Illinois. They could beat UCLA. It's possible they have double-digit wins this year. Who knows? But if I had to be realistic, if I had to understand the fact that this is only his second year, you don't expect the program to change just like that. You look back at Mike Norvell and FSU in his second year, they started 0-4. Why? Because it took time for those changes to show. And eventually they were 5-6 and fighting for a bowl game spot with Florida, and they lost. But much better finish. Started 0-4. They finished 5-3. And I believe Nebraska will be in a better place than Florida State was at that point. And I believe they get to a better spot, which is a bowl game and a winning season. 8-4 Cornhuskers.